Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Electric Bilodeau for Tuesday of the first day of November of 2022. Couple of shows coming up this week we were going to be focusing on, including Friday over at the Windjammer. Country singer William Clark Green is going to be in town. Got a chance to catch up with him earlier this afternoon as he previewed his show over on the Isle of Palms. Let's hear from him. All right, William Clark Green joins us on Electric Bilodeau, coming over to the Windjammer on the Isle of Palms, coming up on Friday night. And William, thanks so much for taking a few minutes.
Dude, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, I was looking at your tour schedule, and you've been staying a busy man, just going all over the country the last few weeks. How's things been going?
It's been going really good, better than expected. And yeah, it's been since 2019 since we really get up this way or back out on like a real tour like this. So yeah, it feels good. I feel like the last few years weren't like really reality, you know? So it's nice to get back on the bus and spend some weeks out on the road.
What's it been like? You know, like I said, I know you've been touring for a few weeks now, but after COVID and not being able to go on the road, what's it been like to kind of get back into the swing of that?
It's definitely not like it was. But, you know, you take what you can get kind of thing, and nothing really holds us back. But, yeah, I still feel like there's certain people are, you know, I feel like there's definitely numbers are a little different than they used to be. Just in people's general acceptance of going out still. So, but we keep full steam ahead and keep moving forward. And we met some brand new fans, which is awesome. You know, a lot of fans that we met that were introduced to our music over COVID. So there's a lot of positives.
That's awesome. Any memories of you playing in Charleston before? Or is this going to be one of your first times playing here in the Lowcountry?
I don't think we've ever played in Charleston. I don't believe so. I'm excited about it. We've heard nothing but good things, and I heard the venue's killer. So we're just excited to get there. So.
Absolutely. And I saw you're going all kind of up and down Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina on this trip around. Do you like coming out to the Southeast?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we did Texas for so long, Texas, Oklahoma for so long. And on this tour especially, we're doing a lot of towns that we've never played before. So for someone that's been doing it for 13 years and played the same venues over and over and over and over again, it's really awesome to play a new town, new venue, and that kind of thing. So.
Very cool. I wanted to ask you about the new album that came out earlier this year, Baker Hotel. I got a chance to listen to it last night, and it was really cool. Just kind of talk us through the process of putting this album together, especially, you know, your first one after going through the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely my pandemic album. I wrote a lot of it, you know, being stuck at home, and yeah, the album is just, man, it's just like it is every other album for me. It's just a collection of songs that represent my life for people that are close to me. And we had our producer back, Rachel Lloyd, who's unbelievable. She did Rose Queen and Ringling Road with us. And then, so it's awesome having her back and producing. And yeah, we kind of huddled up in the first record that we've actually recorded in Texas since my early records. And we just huddled up at an old farmhouse and just had fun with it. So we recorded it in kind of a untraditional way of what we normally do. And I think we got something kind of special out of it. So
very cool. And I saw also the videos you've been putting out with this album. You got to do a little bit of a trilogy with the first video, and then kind of seeing the stories of those characters going along over the next couple of.
Yeah. That was kind of a wild ride and a very ambitious goal for us. When I first wrote Baker Hotel, I kind of written the music video in my head, and it was just kind of one of those things like I really wanted to see it through. It was more of an artistic thing than anything, and I worked with Billy Cano. Out of Court TV down in Austin. Those guys are just great, and we just had a blast recording that all three of those music videos.
How common is that for you? You talk about having the music video in your head when you're writing the song. Is that something you normally do, or is it usually more focusing on the song?
I mean, I think a lot of the title tracks of my records are definitely really visual. Like Ringling Road's pretty visual. We did a music video for that. Aber Island's pretty visual. Rose Queen's pretty visual. So for some reason, yeah, the title tracks are extremely visual songs. And I don't know the reason behind that. It just kind of, they come out that way, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, there's definitely certain songs that, you know, I feel like it would be a shame if there was not a music video for this song. And I think Baker Hotel is one of those songs. It would have been a shame if we wouldn't have done one.
Very cool. I know, like you said, you're a Texas guy and you've been playing in Texas for a long, long time. I think the Texas country music scene is really one of the more fascinating in all the genres of music, because I lived in Texas for about a year and got to experience that for a little bit, and seeing guys playing in Texas and then going out in other places, it was something really cool to see. Can you explain what kind of, to someone who doesn't know, what the difference is between coming up in this business in Texas and then maybe in other places?
Well, we have a support system, guys like yourself, which is super important. I think that's the only reason the scene exists is because we had a bunch of radio DJs back in the day that were rebellious and played our music, even though we were independent bands. And I don't think we would have ever had a scene if it wasn't for that, because back before internet, radio was really the only outlet for music. Unless you randomly saw a show somewhere. So having defiant DJs play our music because they believed in it was really the creation of the scene. And it was, a lot of DJs got fired for it. It was really cool how it worked out. And then once Pat Green came along, people started seeing the dollar signs, and then radio stations were happy to play our music. So But yeah, that's kind of how it started. It started as just like everything in Texas, it started as an outlaw type thing, against the grain, not the norm, the rest of the country. And I think our fan base is super proud of it. I think we're one of the few genres out there that's creating music people believe, that's coming from a place of honesty and integrity. And I think we're all pretty proud of that.
Pat Green, who you mentioned, is really one of the ones I was thinking about, because I remember when I lived there, I think I saw Pat Green play in a big arena in Texas, and that was sold out and people were going nuts. And then I would see he would go other places in the country and he'd play much smaller shows, and people were still kind of getting used to him. So I always thought that dichotomy was really fascinating.
Well, that's pretty much, obviously that's pretty much what we're doing too, except the arena aspect. But yeah, shows in Texas are, we lose money when we go out East Coast. We're trying to play. We're literally trying to play music for people who might be interested, are interested, or could be interested, and we're just trying to build a fan base naturally, just like we did in Texas by going around from town to town. And so, yeah, it's the dichotomy of the two back home and here is awesome. It's like, not to sound big headed, but it's really fun to go out after a show and talk to fans, which I can do in the East Coast and Northeast, because there's not many of them. But in Texas, it's more difficult to sit there and talk to someone, actually have a meaningful conversation with someone for more than 5 seconds and then move on to the next person, So those aspects of kind of getting back to how it initially started was meeting fans. And like last week, we had some guys from Cleveland or from Pittsburgh, and they went to our show in Pittsburgh. Then they drove to Columbus and saw us in Columbus, and they drove to Huntington, West Virginia, and saw us three nights in a row. And then after that, we went to the bar with them because we were like, well, dude, thank y'all so much, for doing that. We thought that was really cool. And those are the kind of fans we're trying to get up here, is those diehards, and just see what our capability of our music is. And what we've noticed being on the road is how hungry people are for what we're putting out there and what our scene is putting out there. It's not just fans of mine coming to shows. It's friends of Giovanni and Colby Cooper and Cody Jinks and Cody Johnson and Parker McCollum and Co Wetzel and all that. So it's to see that they're really embracing the scene. It's not like they're really embracing one artist, they're just that the scene is in town, they're going to it, so pretty cool.
Absolutely. When I was doing research on you last night, one of the interesting things I came across was you have your own kind of cattle beef company. And,
yeah.
I thought that was crazy because it's not less, you hear some famous people get a farm and, they're just kind of pulling, haystacks over here and just kind of riding horses around a little bit. But you've got like a legitimate business that you run on the side, which seems really fascinating.
Well, I hope it's legitimate. I'm pretty much what you're talking about. I inherited my grandparents' farm from my mom on my 35th birthday, and I have been living there. I moved there when I was 26, and I always had cows, and but it was more of a hobby. I had 7 cows, and always a hobby. And then a couple of years ago, we actually slaughtered our first cow, finished it out. Had a buddy of mine help me finish it out. and it was really damn good. It was better than no offense to Nolan Ryan, but Nolan Ryan's a big beef producer in Texas, and we compared ours against his, and we thought it was better. And we kind of did like a random taste test, and proved to be better too. So we're just kind of selling halves and wholes, half beef, which is half the cow, or whole. We're not selling individual cuts of meat. Just not only do we believe in what we're doing, it's a passion. And I think that people, especially with me having my first family, I think it's important for people to know where their stuff's coming from. And just like our music, just like my music, we're doing it with integrity, and it's organic, naturally grain fed, USDA approved. It's top of the line. It's not going to be overpriced. It's going to be about $8 a pound. That's butchered. That's not hanging weight. So, we're excited, and it's good stuff, and we'll just see what happens with it. I mean, if it could turn into a really fun business, that would be awesome. But merely, it's just like, I mean, I really am excited about getting the beef in people's hands and seeing how they react to it, because I think it's great. So.
That's so cool. Before I let you go, I was searching your Twitter last night too, and it looked like you're a Texas Tech fan. So I wanted to see how that's going for you so far this season.
I went to school at Texas Tech for 6.5 years. So, I'm a humongous Texas Tech fan. It's not easy being a Texas Tech fan. But I'm not an NFL guy. I'm not a Major League Baseball guy. I mean, I watched the playoffs on pretty much everything, but I'm not huge fans of everything. But I'm a big Texas Tech fan. It's been, I think, watching Patrick Mahomes do what he's done has been pretty cool, and it's turned me into a Kansas City Chiefs fan. But yeah, I'm a huge Texas Tech fan. They took a lot of my money. Every deal. I did about every class twice. So I'm a Texas Tech fan through and through.
I was going to say, through 6.5 years, I would think they would take a lot of your money.
It's funny because they call me for money now, for alumni money, and I just tell them they got plenty.
That's a good move.
Plenty out of me. Yeah,
I understand. All right. Well, William Clark Green, again, playing over at the Windjammer coming up on Friday night. Very excited to have you in town. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care, man.
All right, William Clark Green once again coming to the Windjammer, coming up on Friday night over on the Isle of Palm. So tickets still available for that one. You can get them at the door or through the Windjammer website. That's going to do it for Electric Bilodeau this afternoon. We'll see you guys later this week.